Billionaire CEO asked the janitor to fix her computer as a joke, but what he did left her speechless. The morning sun spilled through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Harrington Industries, the kind of skyscraper that gleamed with quiet arrogance in the heart of Manhattan. Inside, the rhythm was constant heels clicking, phones ringing, and assistants whispering as if every second were worth a fortune. At the top of it all sat Victoria Harrington, the youngest self-made billionaire in the city. Her name was synonymous with innovation, ambition, and ruthless precision. She was known for solving problems faster than anyone else and for not having time for anyone who couldn't keep up. Her assistant, Elena, entered timidly. "Ma'am, IT says they'll be here in an hour to check your computer." Victoria rolled her eyes. "An hour, that's unacceptable. I have a presentation in 30 minutes. Tell them if they can't fix it now, I'll hire a new department." Elena hesitated, glancing toward the open door where a janitor was quietly mopping the marble floor. His name was Samuel Green, Sam to those few who bothered to know it. He was in his late 50s, with graying hair, gentle eyes, and a calmness that didn't quite fit the frantic pace of the building. Victoria noticed Elena's hesitation. "What?" she asked sharply. "Nothing, ma'am. Just Sam's pretty good with repairs sometimes." Victoria smirked, leaning back in her leather chair. "The janitor fixing my computer," she let out a short laugh. "Why not let us see what the mop man can do?" It was meant as a joke, a small flex of power. But Sam simply nodded, put aside his mop, and walked toward her desk. "May I?" he asked softly. Victoria folded her arms, amused. "By all means, Mr. Green. Impress me." Sam didn't say much. He slid the laptop toward him, eyes scanning the screen. His hands moved with a quiet familiarity, controlled, precise. He pressed a few keys, opened the system console, and began typing a string of commands that looked nothing like guesswork. Within 3 minutes, the computer chimed back to life. The screen that had been frozen for hours now ran perfectly smooth. Victoria blinked. "Wait, what did you just do?" Sam smiled faintly. "Just reset a few network permissions. Someone accidentally disabled your system access." "How on earth do you know that?" He hesitated, as if debating whether to answer. "I used to work in systems engineering." "Before this?" Victoria frowned. "Before mopping floors." Sam didn't flinch. "Yes, ma'am. Life has a way of redirecting you sometimes." The room fell quiet. For the first time in a long time, Victoria had no witty comeback. "Thank you," she said finally. It came out quieter than she expected. Sam nodded, gave a small smile, and returned to his mop. Hours later, Victoria couldn't stop thinking about him. She prided herself on reading people, on seeing potential where others saw limits. But Sam, he didn't fit anywhere in her mental map. Why would a man like that, someone who clearly understood complex systems, be scrubbing floors for a living? The next morning, she came in early and looked up his employee file. It was thin. Just a basic background check and emergency contact. But one detail caught her attention: Samuel Green, former senior engineer, Globaltech Innovations. Globaltech. That was one of the biggest tech companies in the world. Why would someone like him end up here? That same day, she saw him in the lobby again, fixing a leaky pipe. She walked over. "Mr. Green," she began, awkwardly, "do you have a minute?" He straightened, surprised. "Of course, Ms. Harrington. I looked up your file. You worked at Globaltech." He nodded slowly. "Yes. For almost 20 years. What happened? Sam wiped his hands with a rag, choosing his words carefully. My wife got sick. Cancer. The treatments were expensive, and when the company downsized, I was one of the first to go. I took whatever job I could to keep the insurance running. Victoria's breath caught. I'm sorry. He smiled faintly. Don't be. She passed peacefully 3 years ago. I stayed on here. The quiet work helps. There was no bitterness in his voice. Just calm acceptance. For the next few weeks, Victoria found herself noticing him more. How he helped the receptionist carry boxes without being asked. How he fixed a broken coffee machine that no one else could figure out. How he greeted everyone from interns to executives with the same gentle respect. He was invisible to most, yet essential in ways they never saw. Then one evening, everything changed. It was past 10 p.m. The office was mostly dark, except for Victoria's corner suite. She was still working, her upcoming product launch was on the line. But as she typed, her screen flickered again, then went black. No, not tonight, she groaned. Please. There was a soft knock. Working late again, Ms. Harrington. She looked up. It was Sam, carrying a trash bag and his mop bucket. The system crashed again, she admitted. The IT team left hours ago. He hesitated. May I take a look? She nodded, desperate. Within minutes, he was in front of the computer again, focused, steady, efficient. But this time, he did more than fix a glitch. He began scanning logs, muttering under his breath. Then he froze. Ms. Harrington, he said quietly. Do you know someone's been remotely accessing your files? Her heart skipped. What? Someone inside the company, he said, pointing to the code trail. They're siphoning data from your prototype folder. Victoria's blood ran cold. That folder contained confidential designs worth billions. Sam worked quickly, tracing the breach back through the server logs. Within 20 minutes, he had a name. Her chief technology officer. The man she'd trusted for years. Victoria sat in stunned silence as Sam handed her the evidence. He didn't ask for thanks, or reward, or even recognition. He just said, you should change your network encryption. I can help if you'd like. She looked at him then, not as a janitor, but as the man who just saved her entire company. The next morning, headlines exploded across business media. Harrington Industries exposes major internal sabotage, launch back on track. But what the public didn't know was who made it possible. Victoria found Sam later that day in the maintenance room, cleaning his mop. She held a small envelope. You didn't just fix my computer, Sam. You saved my company. I want you to come back not as a janitor, but as head of system security. He looked stunned. Ms. Harrington, No arguments. I don't give second chances often. But when I do, it's because someone earned it. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then tears welled in his eyes as he whispered, thank you. Months later, the launch became the company's biggest success yet. And when reporters asked Victoria what had changed in her leadership style, she said something that would become one of her most quoted lines, sometimes the people you overlook are the ones holding everything together. Never confuse a person's title with their talent or their worth. Sam stood beside her at that press conference, no longer invisible, no longer underestimated. Just a man who reminded a billionaire that humility is the truest form of strength. Moral: greatness isn't about how high you rise, it's about how you treat those you meet on the way up. Because the real measure of success is not power, but kindness.